The journey starts in the transitional period for Cyprus. After the shock provoked by the economic crisis in March 2013, the Cypriot society entered a period of reconstruction and re-evaluation of its social structure. In this current situation, the society aims to reconfigure the values it is based on. The economic wealth of the past 20 years made these values fade away and covered the social and cultural scarcity that was occurring meanwhile, replacing values of care, reciprocity, and awareness with competition and jealousy, but also brought behaviors such as a constant mimetism that affected the social cohesion. The original aim started from an intuitive need for action in today's environment. The project sees the current transitional period as an opportunity to reevaluate the unquestioned social structure and envision the future image of the Cypriot culture based on the current facts. During the project, the definition of culture evolved constantly. It was first considered as a notion only present in a historical context and available only through the institutionalized media, such as the museum. In the beginning, culture was understood as a complex of religious, historical, and craft habits and rituals. Through the research process, its meaning expanded and was understood as something that is made in the everyday life and can be observed constantly in the society. A notion that goes beyond the institutionalized barrier and overcomes the political divisions. In fact, the Cypriot culture does not stop at the political barriers. It is a plural notion that does not follow the illusion of the national identities, which promote culture as a singular notion. The project considers the Cypriot culture shared by both Turkish and Greek Cypriot. As it is explained by Samuel Scheffler, culture is in constant movement and evolves permanently based on the social setting it is confronted. This Heraclitean way of understanding culture influenced considerably the development of the project, making it observe the current reality with a new angle. It defined as authentic all the communities, the habits, and the elements that are present in the current social landscape, and that are all contributing in the civil and cultural fermentation that occurs in today's reality. The notion of fermentation symbolizes the process in which Cypriot society is currently in, and that can be defined by various angles. Civil fermentation, through which we can see how the social structure evolves on fundamental topics, the evolution of social classes, or the evolution of mentalities, on the men and women equality, and on homosexual rights. The cultural fermentation offers another angle to perceive the situation, through which we can observe how the various migrant communities are embedded in the Cypriot society, and how they influence its future, especially the large communities of Filipinos and Sri Lankan people. Last, the fermentation can also be observed through a visual and material perspective, observing how the local crafts are coexisting with imported elements, and how these imported elements are considered as authentic and unquestioned in the local vernacular. This material acceptance is contradicting with the cultural ignorance of the migrant communities, as they are not considered as active parts in the Cypriot society. This is where a project like this can have an opportunity to emerge. The project intends to act as an initiator of social awareness and aims to offer to people the opportunity to experience its fermentation occurring socially.
When the clouds drift away, brings the sun to honor.
Pikla project translates the civil, cultural, and aesthetic fermentation in a cooking workshop. More precisely, a pickling workshop, as the fermented state of the pickles create a parallel with the social situation. It is located in the Bayraktar market of Nicosia, a micro-representation of the society. It invites the participants to come and make their pickles, offering them the choice between recipes from the different communities present in Cyprus. It is an opportunity for people to experiment with new flavors, spices, and tastes, but most importantly, interact with the different people that are constituting the Cypriot society of today. The objects designed for the occasion also reflect this mix of culture, and they take their inspiration from the local vernacular in combination with elements from the migrant cultures. The event will be reproduced in the summer during the Xarkis festival. This second version will be the opportunity to observe more in depth the impact and the result of this experience. It is also the opportunity to reflect on its role in the current social situation and figure out how it could be developed as an ephemeral gathering in the future context. Pikla project repositioned the designer and its work at the center of the community. The designer acts as a facilitator and translates the social situation in an educational experience. By translating the social situation in an experimental workshop, it is offering the tools and the knowledge to the audience in order for them to decide autonomously their future.
No